today we've got 3 pieces of equipment. The one Si uses is called a kicker. You might can see why, but when he gets to a stopping point and isn't worried about hammering his finger, I'm gonna let him tell you about it.
Okay, so this machine that I've got, like she said, is called a kicker. And the reason it's called a kicker is because you run it with this kick wheel down here. So when I kick this kick wheel, it spins this broom handle. And when I spin that handle around, what I do is I put that broom corn on the handle underneath all that wire, and I build that broom from the inside out. So it takes 7 rows of broom corn to make a broom, starting on the inside. So once I start pulling that wire through, putting that broom together, it takes me about 15 minutes. Once I'm done with it, it's still kind of round, sort of like it looks here, right? Doesn't look finished. So I'll take it out of this machine here and I'll give it to her, and she'll put it in this press and that'll keep it flat till she can get the stitches in.
Yeah, so when Si is done, a broom is gonna look like this. A little bit like a Harry Potter broom, huh? Yeah. It's kind of cool, but it's not gonna sweep very well. I'm gonna show you a couple of reasons why. At the top, does it look even? No. And if you look inside there, see there's kind of a hole? That's where the handle is. And sorry, babe. Si puts the broom corn around the outside of the handle, so when he's done, there's that hole where the handle was. We got to fix that. So this machine is called a press. It's going to press the broom flat. It already looks a lot more like a broom, and the way that we keep it flat is I've got to sew it up. I've got to sew 4 rows of stitching. Do you know why I sew 4? Because Miss Teresa told me to. The adults probably think that's pretty funny. They probably know her. Yeah, so I said, yes, ma'am. So we sew 4 rows of stitches and that holds it flat. Now, during homestead times, did people have electricity? No. No. You guys have been to sorghum, right? Yeah. So over there, did you see the guy who's got black hair, brown eyes, really big ears? Did you see him? No. Like big ears. Some of you don't want to say, do you? His name's John Henry. He's got 4 feet. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a mule. He's super strong. We don't have anything to plug up over there. You know, John Henry walks in the circle, right? And his body power is what powers that mill. We don't have enough mules for every single station, so I use Si over here. That would be funny if you were taller. Anyway, yeah, so you had to come up with other ways, and that's why this was a man's job and not a woman's job, because it takes a lot of physical strength to do it. Brooms are made out of a plant called broom corn. Kind of looks like hay or straw, but the difference in it and hay or straw is that if you've ever been somewhere where you saw hay bales in the fall, like somebody put some and some pumpkins maybe in their yard to be cute, and it rains on them, they swell up, don't they? And if you get near them, you start sneezing because they mold and they mildew. And people knew a long time ago that you don't want to clean your house with something that's going to make your family sneezy. The difference in broom corn is if you feel the outside of it, it's waxy. It has a wax coating on the outside, so water just kind of goes off of it. And starting at least in the 1700s, people knew to use broom corn and not hay. It does not absorb water. So it's not going to mold, mildew, make your kids sick for using that inside the house. Now, any broom that you see in the store that's not a Swiffer and is not plastic is not going to be a straw broom. People say that, but it's really a corn broom. Now when I'm done, I've got 2 more rows to go. You see the top, is it level? No, it's going to miss some crumbs. So I've got Miss Katie down here, and she's going to show you what the last step is. They're trying to see one. We cut sides here and that yesterday. You want to come back later? We'll hook you up. Cheap. Okay, the man who taught us how to make brooms made them for his living during the Depression, and at that time people didn't have a lot of money at all for anything if they had money, and so they traded a lot. They had to make hard decisions about buying food or buying a broom. Food usually won out, so the way that he would be able to sell a broom to someone who was trying to make food choices is by telling them it's very well made and that well-made brooms will stand up by themselves. That showed the person that this is going to last you a long time. You won't be throwing your money away. I mean, how many of you guys save up your allowance and go buy something and then it breaks? How does that make you feel? Cheated, maybe? It was a good lesson for me and Si to be proud of what you do and work really hard and not give people stuff that's not good stuff. Because you don't want people running around saying, my goodness, Mary Ann Parker does not do a good job. She just kind of a little bit, and I spent my money and it fell apart. That wouldn't be a good thing for people to say about me, would it? No, whether it's schoolwork or sports or whatever, you should always do your best, and then people will have good things to say about you. Does anyone have any broom questions? Yes, sir.
How do you make a small one?
We don't. Yes, ma'am.
How long does it take to learn?
It's 30 minutes from start to finish. We say they'll last about 8 years. Some people have them longer, some people have them shorter. Depends on if they beat their husband, dogs. I'm joking. You know, a lot of people will bring us their handles. 3 years ago, we had one of the little sorghum ladies bring us her handle to put a new broom on it, and it was remade for the 3rd time, and it was 25 years old at that point. So it lasted about 8 years each time. Yes, sir.
You probably hate a broom question, but what's the thing on your head?
That is a good question, and it is a broom question. Hold on just one second. You see my needle, it's kind of serious. It's really big, it's sharp on both sides, it's not gonna bend. So this stuff is really, really hard, especially down by on the bottom 2 rows closer to the handle. And so this needle would go right through your hand. It would be like if you put it right here and I tried to push that needle through, what's gonna happen?
You're gonna put your hand in up.
On field trips years and years ago, and Si's like, oh my gosh, she made it all the way to the 2nd group before she brought it up. So years and years ago, I was just talking, wasn't paying attention, and I stuck this needle all the way through my hand. And I closed my eyes and I thought terrible things, but I'm a professional and I didn't say them. And I opened up my eyes to look, and I just knew it was stuck out back here, but it hit that bone and it stopped. And I whimpered over to where my mother-in-law was, because she's who taught me how to make brooms, and I was like, Miss Teresa, I just stuck a needle through my hand. You know what she said? Get back on that porch, Greene County Tech is here. So, the moral of the story is pre-OSHA laws, you know, life was tough. And you have to be careful and watch what you're doing. These things on my hand are metal. If you listen, that's what I use to push that needle through. It's not gonna go through a steel cup, it will go through your hand. The leather doesn't matter. That day that I stuck the needle through, it went through the leather and into my hand. So you have to be really careful and be sure that you use the metal. The thimbles and the needle came with the machine from 1878. We redo the leather every 15 years because it just falls apart. It's a pretty hard job, and I promise you we're going to wake up in the morning and we're going to be groaning quite a bit and looking for the Advil. It's hard on you. I'm a state employee. The grown-ups will understand what that means. I'm not used to this kind of physical labor. But, you know, we just do it 10, 12 days a year, so it's okay. I can bellyache and then smile when you guys get here and act all right.
I'll probably be
Anyone else? Thank y'all so much for coming to see us. I hope you enjoy this pretty weather and have a good day at Homestead.